Thank you. Before we even begin, Brother Wilkerson, thank you for serving as our Toastmaster. And to all Toastmasters worldwide and Alpha Toastmasters in specific, I say good evening. And first and foremost, just giving all honor and glory to God. Currently, I'm actually in transit. I've been all around the continent of Africa. This past week, there was the International Association of Alpha Chapters District Conference, one of their first in person experiences where chapters are coming together from Germany, London, the Republic of Liberia, and we all met in Accra, Ghana. So I'm currently just awaiting my last flight and stretch on home. Been flying around, but brother, certainly my heart is so full to be among you. It's always good to be in the house of Alpha, and it's always good to be amongst brothers who we are like-minded. One, because we are alphas, but in this very room, we are like-minded because we all share that same passion and love for public speaking. But I always say it's for communication. I've always been one to speak anywhere, and there was a saying that I learned through Alpha the is there isn't a mic that an alpha man doesn't like. So at any place that I'm at, I just love to bring greetings. So first, my name is Yousif Omer. I'm a senior currently, a graduating senior at Virginia State University. I'm majoring in political science and double major in economics. Um, I am from the Republic of Sudan in the heart of Africa. And at Virginia State University, I was blessed enough to join the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated by way of the Beta Gamma chapter in the spring of 2022. And at Virginia State University, I also serve as the Student Government Association president. So this past weekend, as I was just trying to jot down some notes and come up with some talking points for this event, which I've been so excited to just join and counting down the days to join my brothers in Alpha Toastmasters 1906. The topic was reflection. And as somebody who reflects each and every single day, I found it quite hard during that trip. And as I had so much on my mind, I had to prepare my remarks for the brothers of the International District. But Toastmasters was on the back of my mind. And as I went through those experiences in Ghana, all I could help but do was reflect. I had this privilege this past week to stand on a soil that really just holds an extraordinary significance of our history as a people. We were in Accra, Ghana, and this marked my fourth journey and my fourth trip to the motherland um, in the past 14 months. It's my second return to the motherland. Earlier this January, I was at the Republic of Liberia, and it's always a return that feels like destiny is calling us back home every time we go back to the motherland. But this trip was different. While we were in Ghana, I had the privilege to visit Cape Coast Castle, one of the over 50 hubs central to the transatlantic slave trade. And this fortress, constructed in the early 1600s by the United Kingdom, witnessed horrors that defy any words or speech that one may give. And as I walked through those cold stone corridors, the weight of history sort of just pressed on my reflection as I sat there. At that location, Black men, women, and children were held captive. Imagine being stripped away from your humanity and denied your most basic dignity. The dungeon doors labeled as male slave dungeon, female slave dungeon, still bear witness to this terrible, terrible truth. While we were there, we had an African guide who led us through the history that was embedded in those walls. And as he was giving us the information, and he was saying how each dungeon, cramped, unyielding, and dark, held up to 200 individuals, 200 souls, and half of those souls would not survive. Above these cells, where people were raped, starved, tortured, sat a Church of England just one floor up. A chilling juxtaposition of faith and brutality. How could such suffering exist beneath a house of worship? That was the question that I was troubled with. As I walked through each room, inhaling in the past, and my thoughts turned inward, my journey in this life has been marked by challenges, sacrifice, hardship is many and everyone on this call, but it pales nothing in comparison to the suffering endured there. As I told you before, I'm from the Republic of Sudan in Central Africa. I'm a first generation immigrant. And at 10 years old, I came to the United States carrying little with me but the weight of my parents' sacrifices and a hope for a better life. Yet, in that fortress and castle, I found myself thinking of the ancestors who didn't come to the United States by choice, who didn't get a second chance, who weren't given hope. I walked on the very ground where they once stood, and my heart really hurt. My first question that I asked myself was, did they ever think it would be possible for me to return to this very land that they were forced to be upon? And alongside that deep sorrow and question, I felt something else, a strange feeling, pride. I was there because of my ancestors and their defiance and resilience and the endurance that they took in the fight that they fought to survive under the cruelest of conditions, believing that somehow, someday, their descendants would not only see freedom, but understand and learn the true history of where they stood. That someday, people like me would return to that very same location, not as captives, not as slaves, not as bond, but as free men there to honor them. In that moment, I called on these ancestors. I asked them to continue to guide me and to grant me just a fraction of that strength that they possess. It's because of their will to endure that I stood in that very same place. We always hear the saying that we stand on the shoulders of giants. But that day I truly stood on shoulders of giants, bound to their legacy and committed to honoring their lives with my own. So as I reflected through my own journey, I'm always reminded that the trials that we faced and that I personally faced as a first generation Sudanese immigrant, my story has not been easy, but it's one of persistence and triumph, from learning the language of a new country to navigating a world far from my homeland. I face challenges, but each challenge also comes with an opportunity, a testament to the strength that follows through those veins. Strength inherited from those who came before us. I think of my grandparents, my father, my mother, and today, as an SGA president at Virginia State University, I know I'm fulfilling these dreams. The dreams of not only dreams of freedom, but dreams of success. And as I stand here before you today, now returning from Ghana, with not only the gift of reflection, but a renewed commitment to a life that we have lived and to make our ancestors proud. Today I honor those ancestors. And I tell them the lives that they lived was not in vain. And I promise to keep pushing that story forward, inspired by their resilience. Thank you, brothers.